Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I have another Inktober project video for you, and I'm working with mainly watercolors today, and I'm starting out with one of the super granulating watercolors from Schmincke, and I also add in a little bit of turquoise from Rosa gallery. I will also use some cobalt turquoise, I think also from Rosa gallery, and this greenish color is one of the Supervision watercolors, which are different. They have a layered effect with some metallics in it and also are granulating. I have already made a review video on these watercolors in the past, and I will try to find that video and link it up in the end cards. I'm very proud that I managed to stay with my Inktober challenge every day this week, and I think I will keep on going until the end of the month. And I have also worked on the prompts of Andrea Holmes' art. She made a prompt list for Birdtober, which means drawing a bird every day, and I also managed to get this done, and the results I think are really nice. I have posted everything on my Instagram page, and you will find a video there for each day of my abstract challenge. As always, I'm playing intuitively here. This should be just fun and a creative exercise, and the outcome is not that important. The journal I'm working in for these kind of projects is nothing fancy. It's not watercolor paper, it's a drawing journal from DOMESTIKA. I think it's about 130 GSM paper, and I love it because also drawing ink does not bleed through, which is perfect. And if you clip the pages like I did it here, it works really nice with watercolors. I am not a person that thinks you need the most expensive watercolor paper. That might be true for fine realistic art maybe, but I think it's not important for intuitive plain abstract art or just for having fun. I add in some warmer colors here, and this is also one of these Supervision colors plus I think it's a quinacridone orange maybe from Core. Core watercolors have this high flow and the pigment bursts into the rest of the paints while they are wet, and that's an effect I really like and often use when I play abstract with watercolors. It's not only the Core watercolors that have this effect. Check your palette, try your colors out. There are pigments out there from other brands that have also a high flow. I think that's just sometimes the pigment that makes this effect and not only the binder that is added. I have already swatched the colors I plan to use on the left page, so I know where the thing is going, and I want to add some more contrast, and I'm using, I believe it's the Payne's Gray from Rosa gallery to add in some really dark areas. And this is also a pigment with a pretty high flow, also from Rosa gallery, the turquoise, the yellow orange, and the indigo. These three colors I know are also with that high flow. There might be more, but I just don't have them in mind. It might be also the olive green, but I'm not sure at the moment because I ran out of this color. I will now let this dry and then come back and add more layers to my spread. I want to add some stamping in white to this page to create some interesting effects and contrasts, and I am using acrylic paint for stamping. I'm using the flash paints, which is a vinyl paint and not an acrylic, but it's, I think, not much of a difference, just the finish is super matte. It's like a gouache paint, and I love to use those as a replacement for acrylic gouache in my sketchbook. The stamp I'm using is from the Pencil Marks number 6, and I will link it up in the video description, of course. When you're working with stamps and acrylics, you have to take care to clean your stamp afterwards or to lay it in water until you have time to clean it. I had a bit too much of the white paint taken out to my piece of scrap paper, but I don't really mind that. I always use leftover paint to paint my palette papers or to just color some collage papers, and so I just use this to finish up this paper, and that I can use later in a collage or to create some handmade journals. Before I lay my page aside to let it dry, I will add some black splatters as well. I love to have splatters on my spreads, and I think they give me another layer and more depth and make a page more interesting. And this is where the ink product comes in. I'm using a black acrylic ink to create the splatters. I'm using the one from Liquitex. These are my favorite inks. I also have some from Amsterdam and from the Schmincke Academy range, but the Liquitex are just, yeah, I think they are better, but I prefer to buy stuff that is produced in Germany or in Europe and comes not over the whole sea to us, because it's much more expensive and also not so good for the environment. Everything is dry now, and I'm going to adhere some collage papers. I have a stamped tissue laying here, and I adhere it with the glue stick. I would not recommend using gel medium over the watercolors. I want to make some mark making with crayons, and my most used crayons are the Colors. They are always next to me on my desk, and I have a second set that I broke into half, and one I take with me when I draw anywhere on location in my sketchbook, and the other is in my cozy corner in my studio where I have my TV and all my art books. And often when I sit there at night flipping through books and watching TV, then I just draw like a child in my sketchbook with these crayons. And by the way, these are the water-soluble ones. I do not often use this property, but I love to have the option. With the colors, I just add some scribbly marks and lines to my page. I love this intuitive and loose play. I sometimes clean the crayon on the left side when it's contaminated with another color. I went through all my pre-stamped images to have a look if something would fit on the page, and I found a flower that I have stamped onto a jelly print, and I felt that it matches the background and the colors very well, so I decided to adhere it to my spread. I'm also adhering a sentiment to my page. I would have loved to give the flower a little bit more of a orangey touch, and I tried these Artix markers, which I just reviewed in my last video, but there was not the right color, and the one I'm using here is not much of a difference to the original color, so maybe that was not necessary. Now while I'm watching the video, I think I could have used alcohol markers to give the flower a different color. And that's my finished page for Inktober Day 8. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will see us next time. Bye!